Right, y'all, the last of the three legendary beasts. So, Suicune, also incredible changes here. Again, all three of them are dual typed now. Water Ice, very fitting. It's actually baffling to me that it wasn't Water Ice before. I don't get it. It's literally okay. So here's my issue with it with Suicune and Vanilla. This is kind of loud. It's probably fine. Suicune is literally called the Aurora Pokemon. If you look at its design, it has the flowy bits. It has the fucking the clouds on its back like all three of them have, but in this case it actually looks like the Aurora Borealis, I believe, or like an Aurora, because they're very colorful and yeah. And then it's literally said to be able to fucking run along with the North Winds. Hold on. Yeah, reincarnation of North Winds. The North Winds blow whenever it appears. This Mon, if you don't know, the North Winds are cold. Okay, that's what brings like the cold. So that's what brings like the Aurora Borealis. That's what the Aurora Borealis is, I believe. So it's ice type, man. That screams ice type. And in a ROM hack like this, it's actually more unique. There is only how many water ice types are there in this hack? Check. I believe there's 4. Let me just confirm. Yes, there's 4. 2 of them are old ones, and then 2 are new. One of those is Suicune. The other one is one more. So, yeah, Dugong, Walrein, Suicune, and then one more that we'll get to eventually. Those are the 4 water ice types in this hack. The other ones that used to be water ice types are changed, like Cloyster and Lapras. You can go check those videos out if that interests you. Also, if you're new here, hello, welcome. All moves and are reworked in this hack. There's like 120 plus new moves. There's 28 plus new custom abilities, all kinds of awesome stuff. And you can see all of that for yourself in the description below. There is a link to the Google Sheets, and you can check all the changes for yourself firsthand. So feel free to do that. So yeah, back on topic with Suicune, okay? So Suicune did get a large a drop in its HP and defense. All 3 of them have base 80 HP because they aren't that large, and I think that base 80 HP just fits them as like a vibe. Because again, HP is more consistent with size now in this hack. Not entirely consistent, but more consistent. Obviously, if the Mon needs HP to function, then it's gonna have a good HP stat still, but overall, it's a lot less extreme. So, what am I trying to say here? Yeah, Suicune, despite losing that HP and defense, it did gain a pretty sizable boost to Speed F, and most importantly, it gained Snow Warning and 116 base speed with Aurora Veil. It is currently the fastest Aurora Veil setter, although I believe there will be, I think Frostlass might be faster. I'm not positive. Actually, Suicune might be the fastest Aurora Veil setter. Maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. Aurora Veil setter in terms of instantaneous, meaning they also have Snow Warning is what I'm trying to say. And yes, Snow Warning fits very perfectly on this motherfucker, given that he brings the North Winds and dashes away with the North Winds and stuff. And of course, the water typing still fits because they are also based around water. So yeah, all 3 of them are dual types. Serene Grace, Snow Warning, very fitting abilities, very good abilities that I'll get into in a second. But Snow Warning is very obvious as to why it's good. It's good for 2 reasons. Mostly, of course, as a chip damage is cool. Also, like you can run Weather Ball and your other Pokemon get Ice type Weather Ball, which basically all special attackers get Weather Ball now, so that's cool. You have buffed Icy Rock, which makes it last 11 turns when you have Snow Warning, which is really nice. But the main reason is of course Aurora Veil. Also important thing in this hack. Ice type does have resistances now, so you might be thinking, oh, this is a nerf to Suicune, even though you have Aurora Veil, you have more weaknesses. Water Ice actually is resistant to, it's 4 times resistant to Ice now, always is what it always was resistant to, but in addition to being 4 times resistant to Ice, it also resists water as well, water 2 times, and then the new ice type buffs are that ice now resists ground, flying, and dragon as well. So you can resist ground, flying, dragon, water, and ice being a 4 times resistance. So those are great options, right? The great tools. You can really counter and check a lot of those mons now a lot easier. You are also much faster and a lot stronger. I did consider the main reason I went with the 85 defense instead of I could have gone with 95 or 90, but it doesn't really fit. I mean, it's just a dog, not a dog. It's just a cat beast. It doesn't look like it should be that defensive. Special defense, yeah, of course. I mean, it's a legendary, and it's it's all about Aurora, and of course it should have a good Speed F stat, but I don't see good physical defense on it that much. 85 is still very good. Again, Aurora Veil is incredible. Okay, like Clay Aurora Veil, now your entire team, including Suicune itself, has double defense stats for 8 turns. Essentially, that's essentially what that does. Okay, it's really fucking great. And then, of course, you have stuff like U-turn or parting shot to switch on out of there, which is really awesome. Yeah, so you can Aurora Veil, parting shot, Aurora Veil, U-turn, and get the fuck out of there, and now you have extremely powerful teammates, or you can use it yourself. You can use it to set up a Calm Mind yourself, and you have a much better speed stat, so you can actually sweep a lot easier. So it's overall a giant buff, despite the fact that people might think that the addition of the ice typing and the loss of defense and HP is a nerf. It's not. Not to mention it's also a lot stronger and faster, so it just functions a lot differently. It's still really tanky with Snow Warning or Veil, and of course Serene Grace sets are incredible because you have a lot of great options with Serene Grace. So I'm going to cover those all now. Also, yeah, lastly, with Snow Warning you do have Blizzard, which is obvious. That's just a nice, powerful stab move. You also have like Freeze Dry and other great stab moves that I'll talk about. But so with Serene Grace, of course, your ice moves have a funny 20% chance to freeze with Serene Grace, which is, well, not all of them, but Ice Beam and Blizzard and Freeze Dry. Those three moves have a 20% freeze chance, which is really, really scummy, but that's what it is. But the more important stuff, so you have Air Slash and Razor Wind, both of which now have a 60% chance to flinch with Serene Grace. You can also technically use stuff like Iron Head if you wanted to flinch. Although obviously you only have 75 base attack, but you could use physical Suicune with like Swords Dance if you wanted to. I only give it Swords Dance because the other two got Swords Dance. I was like, why not just throw it on Suicune as well for fun? Could be pretty okay. Obviously there are better physical Water Ices, but it is very fast and it's very bulky, so that's still good. Yeah, Air Slash for Serene Grace, Paraflinch, but just flinching in general. Razor Wind as well. And then Iron Head. So that's flinch stuff. You have freeze stuff, and then you also have special attack boosting chances with Signal Beam and Dazzling Gleam. Those have a 50% chance to boost your special attack stat with Serene Grace. You also have Scald, which has a 60% chance to burn with Serene Grace, which is very scummy. Very annoying. That's why I like the changes for Suicune, because it is more offensive than it is faster, but it still plays similarly. Like, it's still an annoying bulky mon. It's annoying. It uses Aurora Veil. It makes itself tanky. It's fast, and you can use Aurora Veil, so that's a buff. It's got what am I trying to say here? It's got Serene Grace, Scald, and Ice Beam and shit, and Air Slash. It's still a very annoying overall utility defensive mon that also is just strong because of legendary and yeah. So it still plays this similarly. Entei is still tankier because of Intimidate. Raikou is still fast and offensive because of its abilities and because it's the fastest out of three. So I like the way they turned out. I think it's still very faithful to the original while also being a new, fresh take on these Pokemon in a ROM hack where everything is balanced around each other. And I had to make sure there was an overlap with the other Pokemon of that typing. And, there's a lot of stuff that goes into this that doesn't always get that isn't always immediately apparent, which is something that I have to spend time on. But yeah, back on topic with Serene Grace stuff. So you have Scald, you have Iron Head, Air Slash, Razor Wind, Signal Beam, Dazzling Gleam. You also have moves that have a high chance to drop Spadef. So Energy Ball, Psychic, Aura Sphere, Shadow Ball, all those moves have a high chance to drop Spadef. Also Focus Blast. All of those have I believe over a 50 or 60% chance, depending on the move with Serene Grace, which is really nice. But mostly, you're using it for Scald. Also, you're using it for Scald, you're using it for the flinches with Air Slash and stuff. But also, you have Water Pulse. Also, Water Pledge, by the way. Water Pledge is the same. Water Pledge, Signal Beam, and Dazzling Gleam are all 25% chances to boost your special attack, but that becomes 50% chance with Serene Grace. So those are all great moves. So you have Stab as well. I forgot to mention Water Pledge. It's so great. Yeah, you do have Torrential Pulse and Water Pulse is what I was trying to say. So Torrential Pulse and Water Pulse with Serene Grace are incredible. They have a 30% chance to boost your all your stats by 1. With Serene Grace, of course, those are 15% chance normally. Water Pulse is 60 base power, reteachable, while Torrential Pulse is 105 base power, but it's 90% accurate. So, give or take, you trade power for accuracy, pretty fair. And then, of course, that's a very, very strong additional effect with Serene Grace. So, despite how incredible Aurora Veil Snow Warning is, you can still abuse Serene Grace in some situations. In this hack, you do have access to infinite use ability capsules, so you can always switch your abilities. So, say for one fight, you need to flinch something to death, or you need to burn it, and you have nothing else on your team that can burn it or something, I don't know. Then you can run Serene Grace Scald or Serene Grace Air Slash or whatever, or you can try to get that cheesy Omni Boost or boost your stats. Or, for example, if you're running a different weather on your team, say you're running a rain team, you can use Suicune and Rain with Serene Grace, which is great. Versus with Snow Warning, of course, that only works on Hail teams. And Hail does also chip your Pokemon. All your non-ice types will take damage. It also breaks Focus Sash, so it can be a little bit of a hindrance, despite also being incredible because it activates Slush Rush. It activates, you have Aurora Veil, which is incredible team support. You can send in a sweeper and just set up under Aurora Veil. You can support your teammates with the chip damage on the opponent, break Focus Sashes and stuff. You can run Weather Ball on your opponents, or your teammates, excuse me. And then, of course, what was I trying to say? That was the most important. Not the most important. Most important is Aurora Veil, obviously, but there was another thing that I forgot. Sorry. Slush Rush. Yeah, I think that was it. So, good ability. Very good ability. really awesome utility mon, really awesome offensive mon, fast utility, annoying as it always was. I think it fits Suicune to be this way and play this way, and also the abilities logically fit very nicely. You know, Soaring Grace, Snowboarding fit. Look at this motherfucker. It's beautiful and graceful and snowboarding because of all the north winds and the aurora. You have powerful stab moves, so you have Freezer Burn. You also have like utility like Haze and Z Soak. Z Soak gives you +2 special attack and turns them into a water type, so you can use Z Soak plus Freeze Dry, which is sick. I love that. Z Soak turns them into pure water type, then they're weak to Freeze Dry, and then or Energy Ball if you want to use that instead. If you deleted Freeze Dry for something. Energy Ball also, I think, fits pretty well given that, you know, stuff like Manaphy learned it and it is a legendary, so I think it fits fine. You know, it's in touch with nature, it purifies water and stuff. I think Energy Ball fits really nicely because of that. What else is there? Yeah, Haze is really good for utility, just to stop sweeping and stuff. Same with Whirlwind, that's priority now, which is good. Frost Breath and Aero Blast, priority and 1 PP, but I should always add that for new people, so you don't think I made a fucking priority switching move. That would be absurd. No, it's 1 PP, so it's like a one-time use thing, which is really useful still. What else is there? Frost Breath, Aero Blast are cool. Those always crit, 65 base power, 95% accurate. So you can use Frost Breath, Aero Blast, and Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon drops your special attack stat by 2, so it's 150 base power, -2 special attack, and then you can use moves like Aero Blast and Frost Breath, which will ignore the which will ignore the special attack drop because of the fact that they always crit. So that's really awesome. Again, you do have good stab. Aurora Beam drops attack by 1 to 70 base power. Freeze Dry is good, you know, Frost Breath, Glaciate is 110 base power and drops speed by 2, and it's 90% accurate. Blizzard with Snowboarding is incredible. Also, just in general, it's a good move. You know, really awesome stuff here. I really love the way Suicune turned out as well. I love the way all of them turned out, to be honest. Freezer Burn's great. Freezer Burn is a, it's from Ice Burn, obviously. So what that is, it's a 2-turn move. It's 180 base power, and it always burns. So you can use Power Herb Freezer Burn and always burn the opponent. Which is really awesome, even with like snowboarding and stuff. It's just a good utility move, and it's very powerful. It's basically as strong as a Z move, so you're basically using it like a Z Crystal, but that also always burns. So, for example, it's as strong as Z Ice Beam, for context. So it's just as strong as the Ice Beam, but it also burns, which is great. Sheer Cold is a gimmicky little move. It's 1 PP, but it always lands now with limited distribution. It sounds overpowered. I promise you it's not. It's 1 guaranteed KO. And competitive, that would be fucking hilarious and stupid and dumb because you're never safe from it and you can lose a Pokemon anytime. But even that, I would still say it's kind of situational to run. But in game, it's not that great because you have so much coverage. It's really not that useful. It's good, don't get me wrong. Like, you are definitely going to maybe want to run that for one fight because by the time you learn Sheer Cold, you are at the league and you have the movie learner, so you can just reteach it for specific boss fights. Say you need, for one Rainbow Rocket boss, you need to one-shot their legendary, for example. Oh shit, his fucking Reshiram, you know, then you run Sheer Cold, which will kill them all in it. So that's always a cool thing you can always run on some mons for specific fights if you need it, but it's overall still pretty niche. Yeah, that's really about it. I could cover every other little move, but I don't want to waste time. So that's about it. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this video was informative or entertaining. I hope I explained stuff properly. I hope that I satisfied those who like bulky Suicune, because it is still extremely bulky because of snowboarding in Aurora Vale and because of the Serene Grace annoying bullshit that it can do. It still plays the same way. Not the same way, but it's still true to like what Suicune is. You know what I mean? It's not like I didn't fucking make it an offensive powerhouse. It's strong, but it's not, you know, it still plays like Suicune does, so I like that. Yeah, that's about it. So thank you so much for listening to these videos. If you listened to all 3 in a row, I appreciate that as well. Make sure you also drop a comment on these videos if you haven't been. That would help with the algorithm if you could leave a like and drop a comment. Also, just a little update for those of you who are like consistently keeping up with my work. I will be slowing down in these next few days. I have some personal stuff that I have to attend to. I'll still be getting some work done, but not nearly as frequently as I have been in this last week. But I'll still be able to finish Johto by the end of the week for sure. There's only 2 more lines anyways. It's fucking Celebi and T-Tar. So yeah, with that, I'm gonna leave it off. If you enjoyed this, subscribe if you are not already. You should be subscribed if you listen this far. You can join my Discord server in the description below. You can also, again, check out all these changes for yourself in the description below. Tons of detailed guides to all the moves and all this Pokemon, and it's really cool. Tons of custom new abilities and moves, so you can check all that out yourself. I encourage you to do that. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much for listening to these guys. Bye.